Hi everyone, welcome to Story Time with Nonna. I have a wonderful book for you today about a little turtle that went on a long journey. The story is called Yoshi, Sea Turtle Genius. And these are some nice illustrations here. This book was written by Lynne Cox, illustrated by Richard Jones. Inside the egg was genius. The tiny loggerhead turtle cracked through her shell, stuck her head out, and pushed the pieces aside. She was just the size of a smile. For days, the baby turtle stayed under the sand in a nest on a beach in Australia with her many brothers and sisters. Then, near midnight on the fifth night, when the sand was cool and the tide was high, the turtle pulled herself out. She felt the force of the earth. She smelled the air and saw the shimmering reflections of the moon and stars on the water. And she used all this to find her way to the Indian Ocean. From the shadows, ghost crabs and red foxes began to attack. The baby turtle scrambled furiously to the water along with her siblings. When a huge wave picked her up, she took a deep breath and dove under. The first time in her new life, the little turtle was swimming. She glided over Mermaid Reef, her front flippers folded against her tiny brown shell and her back flippers kicking. Below her lay an extraordinary world. Seahorses rode currents along slender green seagrass. Clownfish chased butterfly fish. Soft sea anemones spread their tentacles, and parrotfish fed on algae. Whoa, look at that fish. A whale shark as big as a school bus swam by, wagging his body from side to side, mouth wide open to catch any plants and sea animals. All night and day, the tiny turtle swam without stopping until she reached a raft of brown algae. She climbed on, hidden from hungry seabirds and fish. For many months, the turtle drifted on algae, pushed by strong sea currents, and swam all alone across the wide Indian Ocean. Her beautiful shell turned reddish brown and grew into the shape of a heart. After 5 years, the turtle, who was now the size of a house cat, reached the southern tip of Africa. She swam with penguins, fur seals, bottlenose dolphins, great white sharks, and yellow-bellied sea snakes. She dove between waving sea fans and squishy yellow sponges and hunted for crabs and clams and mussels. In the surf, she watched baboons chasing each other down the beach, zebras wading in the shallows, and ostriches walking along the shore. The turtle moved slowly, searching for food. When she reached deeper water, she took a big breath and dove. A fish trapped in a net caught her attention. Into the net she swam and immediately became entangled. Oh no! The harder she tried to break free, the more tangled she became. The net pulled tighter. She needed to get to the surface to breathe or she would drown. Slowly, the turtle inched her way up and up and up through the water, dragging the net with her. At last, she broke through the surface, but she could not rest. The net was weighing her down. For hours, the turtle treaded water, trying to poke her head out for air, growing more and more exhausted. In the vast ocean, she was just a dot. But the turtle's luck changed. A fisherman saw her struggling. He pulled the net into his boat and took the turtle in his hands. He felt her pulse racing. He cut off the net with his knife as he spoke to her gently, telling her that not to be afraid. At last, the turtle was free, but there was a gash on one side of her shell. The fisherman knew that she would need immediate treatment or she would die. He placed a towel over her eyes to calm her and removed the broken pieces of her shell, bathed her with fresh water to kill any parasites, and put antiseptic on her wounds. Over the months, the fisherman cared for the turtle while her shell healed. He fed her squid and she grew stronger. He named her Yoshi, which means good luck in Japanese. Before heading home, the fisherman brought Yoshi to the Two Oceans Aquarium in Cape Town, South Africa. The aquarium's curator and veterinarian had no experience caring for a sea turtle. Still, they worried that Yoshi may have become tame during her time with the fisherman and would not be able to survive in the wild. They decided to keep her. For over 20 years, Yoshi lived at the aquarium. She grew to the size of a lion. In a tank she shared with ragged-toothed sharks, yellow-tailed flashfish, giant cob, schools of garrick, and stingrays. Sea turtles are not social animals. Yoshi did not pay attention to the others, but there were divers that she liked to follow. Yoshi was now an adult sea turtle. The curator, veterinarian, and animal behaviorist decided she was ready to return to her natural habitat, the ocean. But she had spent so many years in a tank. How could she swim the great distances necessary for a turtle to survive? To get Yoshi into shape, two divers positioned themselves on either side of the tank. Back and forth she swam between them, 65 feet each way. At the end of each workout, she was fed a bit of crab as a treat. Yoshi trained every day for 18 months, building up her strength and endurance until she became a powerful swimmer. Before they released her, scientists attached a tracking device to Yoshi's shell so they could follow her by satellite. She was so heavy that it took a group to lift her over the side of the boat and gently lower her into the sea. At last, she was returning to her natural home. Yoshi swam up the west coast of South Africa, along the shores of Namibia and Angola, where there was plenty of food. Then she turned and swam back around the tip of Africa. Scientists thought she was heading to the nearest loggerhead nesting site, 2,174 miles north of the Indian Ocean toward Australia. Children and adults from all over the globe followed her progress on their computers. Where was Yoshi going? Yoshi swam more than 30 miles each day. She swam through giant waves and across calm seas. She swam through huge storms and bright sunny days. She floated, half asleep through the night. Her body glowed in a blanket of sparkling water that looked magical in the moonlight. She felt the force of the earth. She felt the call in her heart. She fought the currents, the tides, and the winds. She swam through summer, fall, winter, and spring. And she kept going. She swam 22,998 miles, setting the record from the longest swim of any animal in history. On the reef, a male loggerhead turtle saw Yoshi and swam to her. They mated. A few months later, guided by the smell of the sand, Yoshi crawled from the water onto the beach where she had been born 25 years earlier. Yoshi found her way home, and then she laid her eggs on that same beach. Somehow, Yoshi knew there was genius inside her. And inside each egg was genius. That was a pretty good story. I can't believe Yoshi swam all that way. And there's her little babies. Thanks for joining me for Story Time with Nonna. It was a pleasure to read this book to you. I'm so glad you joined me. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.